Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. This is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with the Ignition Time channel. Here's a headline of an article on your screen from the Wall Street Journal. The Senate is set to cut provisions in the House Democrats' $2 trillion spending plan. In fact, House proposals on paid leave, immigration, and state and local taxes face deductions. Welcome to our channel, everyone. Please click like. Please click subscribe and enable notifications. Now, the fact is that House Speaker Pelosi is hoping for a vote as early as next week on a $2 trillion social spending and climate bill, according to the Wall Street Journal. But this legislation is going to be altered in order to have a chance of passing the United States Senate. In fact, as you probably know, Democrats hold a very slim majority in both chambers, in the House as well as the Senate. In fact, Speaker Pelosi can afford to lose just 3 votes in the House, and the Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, must get every single vote, including that of the conservative Democrat from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, as well as Senator Kristen Sinema. Now, the problem here is that Democrats are using a budget maneuver called reconciliation to pass this $2 trillion plan with a simple majority instead of the usual 60 vote threshold for legislation. What that means is the Democrats have no margin for error. What that also means is that Democrats in both chambers need to come to a consensus. Now, they do largely agree on universal pre-K for 3 and 4-year-olds. They agree on subsidies for childcare and healthcare costs and tax credits, but they don't agree on taxes, immigration, paid leave, and climate. In fact, according to the Wall Street Journal, here are some of the policies in the bill. And by the way, this is called the Build Back Better plan. And this could run into trouble in the United States Senate. The first problem is state and local taxes. Some Democrats from high tax states like New York and New Jersey have been adamant that the $10,000 cap on state and local deductions that was actually put in place in the 2017 Republican bill be raised. They say that it unfairly targets their constituents. Now, in an effort to deal with that, the House actually added a provision that would lift the cap to $80,000 through 2030. That's quite significant because, people in New York and New Jersey who can take advantage of a larger cap will then be able to, and this cap would then return back to $10,000 in 2031. Now, this is going to be problematic in the United States Senate because basically Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont, and Robert Menendez, a Democrat from New Jersey, have actually said they oppose the House version, but they support another version with an income cap for state and local tax deductions. So that was the first problem, everyone. That was state and local taxes. The second problem is paid leave. Now, House Democrats have included 4 weeks of paid parental sick or caregiving leave. Now, under the $200 billion program, the government would actually provide Americans a share of their wages while they take leave. Now, I want our viewers and subscribers to know that other developed countries like the United Kingdom, like Europe, they actually have paid family leave. In fact, they have very generous social policies, more so than we do. But the interesting thing is Democrats had originally proposed 12 weeks of leave. Now, this is a problem because the conservative Democrat from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, has said that he opposes this. Now, he said he wants to work with Democrats on paid leave, on a paid leave plan that can pass without Republican support, but he wants to keep it separate from the current package. So that was the second problem. The third problem is the environmental provisions. Under the House bill, companies would be required to pay fees for certain gases that were emitted by oil companies, transmission lines, and other facilities. Now, they could also receive $775 million of grants and other subsidies to help pay for reductions in emissions. Now, Joe Manchin, whose state, by the way, is a big gas producer, has not said whether he supports the plan, and his opposition could force this provision to actually be removed from this bill. Now, House Democrats also included a special tax incentive for electric vehicles made with union labor. Under the bill, $4,500 of a total of $12,500 electric vehicle tax credits would be available for cars, vans, SUVs, and pickups made at unionized factories. Now, they are going to argue that it does not comply with Senate regulations requiring spending to have a meaningful fiscal impact. Because remember, all of this is going to be passed through reconciliation. And the final provision, and the provision that essentially tends to be the most controversial, is immigration. House Democrats have actually included a provision that would provide a 5-year renewable work authorization to anyone in the country before 2011, no matter how they entered, providing legal status to millions of residents. Now, got to be honest with you folks, this is a bit of a head scratcher because I'm not sure why the Democrats would want to do that. Well, I guess I know why. It's all about votes and increasing their voting bloc. Now, the Senate parliamentarian has already ruled that two earlier proposals to legalize millions of immigrants living in the United States illegally did not qualify under rules governing legislation that could be passed through reconciliation. And this suggests that this latest measure could indeed be stripped from the bill. Now, the Democrats have said that work permits do not go far enough because they do not provide a pathway to citizenship. Folks, the Democrats know that immigrants vote primarily for them. And so this essentially is a long-term plan by the Democrats to expand and enhance their own voter base. But, and I got to be honest with you, this is a bit puzzling, providing a 5-year renewable work authorization to anyone in the country before 2011, no matter how they entered, and providing legal status to millions of residents, many of whom came in the country illegally, is a head scratcher. And I got to be honest with you, it's something I definitely cannot get behind. I don't support that. This is the complexity of the situation, everybody. This is politics in our beloved country, in the United States of America. Thank you so much for watching. Please click like, please click subscribe, please enable notifications. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This right here is a little bit of information about me. You'll learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I have the fortune, the honor, the privilege of living the American dream, and I was able to overcome the cycle of poverty that you see on your screen right here. Please also follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is ignition_time. That's ignition_time. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Take care. Bye.